Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mythic bringing you guys another video, and we finally got a special guest. It has been a long time coming. We have tried to make something work, schedules haven't aligned, but we finally got Mike on the channel. How is it going? It has been way too long. Way too long, but we got you. We got time.
Yeah.
How's it going? What's been going on with you?
Yeah, it's been a very, very long time. I mean, just life, man. Just life, right? You're just, I feel like we're just running on completely different opposite schedules. I'm more of a morning person. I think you're more of a night. And as you can tell, my eyes are kind of been really beady. So I'm not late. I'm not up this late. So, no, I mean, other than that, man, things are good. Personal life's doing amazing. It's the first time we actually had rain here in Arizona. And I know you were uh, obviously from Arizona, but you missed probably the best storm we had all freaking year. This just happened. But no, man, things are good, though.
Yeah, I know. Just moved to Austin. You guys know that. It rains a lot here,
Yeah.
surprisingly. It's not supposed to, but when I've been here, it's rained like 3 times. But of course, I would miss the best storm in Arizona because when it rains
Right,
in
exactly.
Arizona, it's phenomenal.
We had
So
this whole big like thunder, like the whole like haboob thing, like the whole dust storm came and just completely made the whole sky dark. It's crazy, man.
really,
Yep.
of course, I miss that. Hey,
Yeah.
we love Arizona. I still got love for Arizona. I'm always gonna reside. I got a whole channel dedicated to the freaking Cardinals, man. That's not gonna stop even in Texas. Screw the Cowboys. Screw the Texans for life.
There you go.
Both of us ride that way. Dads are Cowboys fans. We're Cardinals fans. Here we are, man. And we got an exciting year this year, I think.
Yeah.
2025, their expectations, it seems like Cardinals fans are kind of buying in a little more than they typically do. They kind of see the talent, the defensive structure, what we got going, what we got building. And it seems like the players are really bought in. And this is an interesting time for 53-man cuts because this seems like the most difficult roster to construct. There's some obvious positions like quarterback, like tight end, maybe safety's kind of a lock, I would say. But outside of that, there's some back end spots that people are legitimately fighting for. You got the top end guys, but there's a lot of battles going on right now at corner, inside linebacker, defensive line, offensive line. You got the top end guys, but there's a lot of guys on the bottom end. What has stood out to you in preseason so far? Who are the guys that have caught your eye and have kind of just swayed you into locking in a roster spot?
To be honest with you, the guys that really like swayed me into like, dang, you're gonna make it. And I was not talking about this guy before preseason because even when I went to training camps, and you've been to a lot more training camps than I did. I was out of town for a couple of days, so I missed a few. But Simi Fehoko, man,
Yep.
the wide receiver that we brought in, I feel like he's been very, very underrated. Now, like I said, when you're in training camp, there's so many different things to look at, right? If you're looking over here, is the running backs. If you look over there, is the wide receivers and Kyler throwing the ball. You look over here, there's defensive drill. So it's like you got to have so many eyes looking around in training camp to kind of really get a good grasp. But I always kind of felt like Simi Folco definitely went under the radar in training camp, but he showed out, man. Whether it was Clayton Tune or Jacoby Brissett, this man deserves a 53-man roster spots, and it seems like it's trending in the direction for the Cardinals to bring him in. So I got him as definitely a guy that I would love to see on this roster. I've been talking about Xavier Weaver for quite some time, although he hasn't impressed me to the point where I'm like, yeah, him over Simi Fehoko. I still do think he's going to make the roster. Now, I've been talking about this on my channel. I would love the idea of the Cardinals giving Xavier Weaver the opportunity on special teams. We saw a glimpse. We saw a glimpse in preseason and on training camp, but I don't know. I feel like he's got that twitchiness, the speed that would make him pretty dynamic back there if he got the opportunity. But I know it's probably going to be DJ Dallas' job and Greg Dortch's job to lose. But I don't know. There's something about Xavier Weaver giving him more of an opportunity to become a playmaker. Because let's be real, he's not going to be a wide receiver in terms of like he probably will be brought in, but like it's just more depth more than anything. For the defensive side of the ball, dude, Jordan freaking Birch, man, what a freaking player he's been for the Cardinals so far. I don't think I was as high when we drafted him. Now, of course, I'm going to be excited about anything. I want to do a little research, but I think Jordan Birch really kind of showed out and said, hey, I'm ready for the NFL in preseason. And that's when I kind of really started backing on the whole Jordan Birch situation. And of course, you got Xavier Thomas really showed out in week 3 as well. But if I were to kind of give you 2 and 2, I don't want to make too long of a list, but I feel like that would be my list.
I'm not mad at that. Simi is, I think, a roster lock. He's 225 pounds, 6'4". That's something you can't really replicate. And also, it doesn't feel like he dropped the ball in training camp. From what I saw, it's hard to keep your eyes out like all the time. Maybe he dropped one, maybe he dropped two. I mean, drops happen. Marvin Harrison had a drop. But, I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean? It's practice. But
Yeah.
you can't replicate that. And also, I feel like You let me know what you think about this. This is kind of off topic, but the whole Greg Dortch starting in the slot, I'm more comfortable with Zay Jones in the slot. What do you think? Because
Yeah,
I'm kind of over the whole 5'7" getting dominated when he's trying to run block in a
yeah,
run first system. Zay Jones is a bigger body. I think he is a veteran savvy guy, and it feels like Kyler in training camp developed a better connection with him than he had with Greg Dortch. Now, Greg Dortch, if he was taller, maybe would be a little more solid, but he's not. He's 5'7" on the field, and it's hard to
yeah.
watch, especially in preseason when he's trying to engage in run blocks, and it just doesn't go well. You're 5'7". I mean, corners might not be tall; they might be 5'11", 6 foot. You have some
Right.
smaller DBs, but still, Greg Dortch doesn't impact the game enough for me to be confident in his starting slot role. Are you comfortable at Zay Jones, Simi? Do you want to see the alternate switch? How are you feeling?
That's a good question. So coming into the start, and I'm talking about like OTAs, and I'm talking about like, take it back a little bit further, right? Even rookie minicamp, I was always in my mind thinking that it's going to be Greg Dortch in the slot, but it kind of shifted in terms of the training camp and now preseason. You're starting to see Zay Jones kind of emerge to be that guy in the slot for the Arizona Cardinals, or at least in my eyes. Now, are they going to split share? Maybe. I think that might be more realistic for the Cardinals because I think they really do like Greg Dortch. Like, and he, like I said, yeah, 5'7", but he plays like a dog. He's a really good player, but there is that aspect of it all of can Kyler really see him running a drag route, right? One of those routes that you're kind of get lost in the shuffle. And let's be real, we got like 6'4" behemoths, right? Mammoths right there that you got to see over. So you got to really kind of look between, tackles and guards in the center to really kind of look. So I do love the idea of having an over 6 foot guy run a drag route, a slant route, right? Somebody that plays in the slot. I feel like that would go a long way for the Arizona Cardinals. And Zay Jones was suspended for the first 5 games last year. He really didn't have a opportunity to get that chemistry down with Kyler Murray. So I do think that with his training camp and a little bit of the preseason, I think it's Zay Jones's job, if I'm going to be real. Even if it's like a 60-40 split, I would love to see Zay Jones, just a different look. Like, give me something different. Because one thing that I was talking about on my channel was like, it's so fascinating that Monty Ossenfort was like, let's run it back. This is the same damn wide receiving core. Let's run it back. Obviously, with the exception of Semi Fehoko, but like, it's the same damn wide receiving core from like the 1 to 3, right? So like, that's one thing that I'm like, give me something different. But if I'm going to lean my hat on, Zay Jones in the slot would be different. So let's see what they do.
I agree wholeheartedly. I would prefer Zay Jones, honestly. The taller, big
Yeah.
body, anybody over Greg Dortch. I think Greg Dortch coming in for special plays or split shares potentially would be
Yeah.
a good idea. But I'm with you with the Xavier Weaver and Simi. I think both of them are guaranteed locks. I think the receiver core is pretty weak. Looking at it, there's not a lot of guys. Looking at it, I think it's just like it's hard to even want to keep people. You get to
Yeah.
5 and you're just like, okay, Xavier Weaver is like the best receiver available. He's
Yeah.
twitchy. He's got the quick burst off the line. He's 6'1", and then you got Simi 6'4", just brings something entirely different. I think that was very underrated from the Chargers pickup. Like, we'll take that. We need help at the receiver position after doing absolutely nothing on the
Yeah.
offensive side, and we're a solid offense. We're probably like 13, top 13, somewhere in that range. But do we have the idea that Drew Petzing is going to actually air it out this year? Probably not. I think we got the same philosophies. I think we're going to kind of just run it back with a better defense and see what happens. So it's very interesting. Defensively, I think Jordan Birch did solidify a roster spot, which I thought he was always going to do. That
Right.
wasn't really anything worried about. A lot of people were worried about Xavier Thomas being a cut candidate. You brought him
Yeah.
up. But he balled out in week 3. I think he does bring some valuable speed rushing that we don't really have, especially with BJ Ojolari not able to play. Probably going to start out on the physically unable to perform list. So we need help at edge. Josh Sweat,
Yeah.
great player. But you got really nothing on the outside of that in terms of actually getting to the quarterback. I think Baron Browning could be a very interesting player. But what do you think about inside linebacker? We have Michael Walker, Owen Popo, and then Cody Simon in the back end. That is something interesting. And then the corner position, you got Darren Hall, who balled out once again in preseason.
Right.
He is a preseason dog. He balls out, and it's just like, it's hard to not want to give him a roster spot. But then you got Catrell Clark. You have Elijah Jones. You have Denzel Burke. Are you going to cut the guy you spent a 3rd-round draft pick? Maybe. Are you going to cut the guy you took in the 5th this year, not Denzel Burke? I don't know. And then Darren Hall, it's like you don't really have ties, but he balls out when given the opportunity. He's breaking up passes. He's actually getting picks. It's like, it's tough. And then you also have Keith
Yeah.
Crawford and Joey Blunt in the back end of safety. So those 3 positions, I'm gonna let you fire off. What are you feeling
Oof.
with those? Because those are tough.
Yeah,
I've
they
gone
are.
back and forth with all of them. Because Michael Walker led the team in tackles last game when actually
If it
given the opportunity. But it's like it's tough.
Yeah, it is. If it wasn't for Elijah Jones having a pretty solid showing in week 3, I would have said that this would be an easy thing. Like, right, just maybe potentially cut Elijah Jones. Like, it's like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I went through a lot of training camps and preseason. He really didn't do anything, with the exception of that week 3, in preseason for Elijah Jones. I feel like that kind of really made him stand out. Now, is he going to go over Darren Hall? I mean, that's going to be the tricky part. I don't know what Monty Ossenfort's thinking, because you're right. You used the third round pick, one of your 4 third round picks, a couple years back. So I don't know if they're going to give up on him like that. I mean, it's a tough one. It really is. I do like Darren Hall. I feel like he could have potentially easily had 3+ interceptions in preseason alone. Like, he is a baller. Like, he's a really good playmaker for the Cardinals, but that one's a tricky one. I don't know. I wish I had a magic ball for you on that one. I don't know how that's going to shake out. I would say maybe Elijah Jones takes a nod just because of the third round pick tenure. That's where I would feel like that would go. The inside linebacker position, I feel like it's very top heavy. Everything else is very, very unknown, and it goes to Akeem Davis Gaither and Mac Wilson Sr. Like, I don't think there's really much debate there. OP, Owen Papu, I feel like he might be brought in because of the uncertainty of what Akeem Davis Gaither brings you. We just don't know what he's going to bring you. And then Cody Simon, right? You use the mid-round pick on him. You're probably going to bring him back. So JJ Russell and then Michael Walker are probably going to fall on the wayside. So you have those 3 guys, but like, are the Cardinals really going to be carrying 4 middle linebackers? Maybe, maybe, because like I said, there's so much unknown when it comes down to the Akeem Davis position, Akeem Davis Gaither position. But if he comes out and balls out and does a really good job at the Mike/Will linebacker, because JG said they're going to alternate, then we'll see how that all shakes out. So that's cornerback, and then the middle linebacker. What was the other position you
We
said?
got safety because I feel like you got DTD,
Safety.
you got Buddha, you got Jalen. Keaton Crawford, everybody saw what he put on tape. Making
Yeah.
plays.
Oh, that's a tough
Then you got
one.
Joey Blunt, who I think is going to make the roster just because he is our best special teams player. He kind of reminds me of like a Justin Bethel, where it's like it's hard to
Yeah.
give up on him because he makes so many plays on special teams. He'll be back. He'll be the one to down the football. He'll be the one making a tackle on punt. He'll be the guy who's just always making plays on special teams, and he fires the team up. Do you take the chance on the 7th round guy who can play special teams as well,
That's a
got an interception in the
tough one.
preseason, or do you rock with the veteran that you have the comfortability with on special teams?
Yeah, that's a tough one. The safety possession, obviously your number 3 guys, without even thinking about the versatility of the special teams. Obviously Jalen Thompson, Buda Baker, and then Dadrian Taylor Demerson being your 3 guys. But this is why it's so tough. You mentioned it right. This is why it's so darn tough to pick the guys to predict this 53-man roster, because of this specific situation. And it only gets worse if Walter doesn't come off the PUP and BJ Ojolari doesn't come
Yeah.
off the PUP, and then Bilal Nichols, because there's 3 more spots there. That will give a little bit more of a breathing room for, like, let's say, for example, a Keaton Crawford to make the cut, right? I do think right now Joey Blunt does have the edge over a Keaton Crawford, but I don't know. I want to see these draft picks that we have, although they could still land on the practice squad. I want to see them on this 53-man roster, because we've seen Keaton Crawford with an interception. We've seen his playmaking ability, but you can't deny Joey Blunt and what he's brought to this organization, specifically on special teams, right? So uh, I'm going to take a cop out on this one, brother. I don't know. I don't know what Monty. This is a tough decision. This year is the hardest 53-man roster prediction to predict, specifically within the last like 5 or 6, 7 positions, especially if you're including Walter not coming back, or Bilal, or BJ.
Yeah, and then I mean, then you could really get the tough on the back end of the D
Yeah,
line. Do you go PJ Mustapher? Do you go Keon Bars? Do you go
yeah.
Elijah Simmons, who our D line coach is insanely high on? Jonathan
I like
Gannon
Elijah
spoke
Simmons
good
too.
on. Very
Yeah.
fast for the weight he's playing at. It's just like you got those 3 on the D line, and who's the O line? Why am I blanking? There's an offensive line, Fryer.
Yep. Josh Fryer. Yep.
Yeah, is he gonna make it? Like I don't know. It really depends where Will Hernandez starts. I think he's trending to be on PUP too, if I'm not mistaken. So it's
Yeah. I think
like,
that's what the. Mm-hmm.
and then Hayden Connors, Christian Jones gonna go. Jonathan Gannon didn't have an answer for there, so it's like you got a lot of stuff in the air right now, especially on the depth positions. And then I
Yeah.
like Bam Knight. Like I have been so
Me
high on Bam Knight.
too.
Watching him in training camp, he was one of the guys where I'm like, hey, he's quick, great footwork, he's fast, He's twitchy. I want to see him play more in preseason. Then he finally kind of got a little bit of snaps. He got 5 carries in the back end. He took it for over 75 yards, I believe, a 67-yard touchdown. Like, he looked good. So it's like, it's tough. But do
Yeah.
you take him over Michael Carter, or do you have DJ Dallas, who it's just tough because the business of the NFL? You sign someone to a long-term contract. You want to keep him, make him actually play up to the contract value, because I'm pretty sure he's making like $3 million a year. So they
Yeah.
kind of want him to live up and don't want to part with dead money. But it's like, at this point, Michael Carter or Bam Knight, I will take either of them
Oh yeah.
over DJ Dallas. And I think Bam
Agree.
Knight as a returner could be valuable. Xavier Weaver as a
Ooh.
returner could be valuable. Go ahead and see
I'm
what
on
both
that
of
one.
them got. So
Yep.
I'm a little confused why Bam Knight and Xavier Weaver didn't get more reps, and Greg Dortch. DJ Dallas, I would have just phased out, to be honest. I understand why he's here, and that's why I think he'll make the roster, because in training camp preseason, he was back there. Kind of sucks, but it's just like, it is what it is. I would rather have
Yeah.
those two guys, but they really don't have the money to actually be put in a position to play. That's just how the NFL works. The money you get
Yeah.
paid, they're gonna play you. They're gonna play you.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and they're not going to get unless there's crazy injuries. Obviously, knock on wood. They're probably not going to get any very much valuable playing time, especially when you're behind James Conner or Trey Benson. And that's kind of what I came to terms with, because I remember last year, I was jumping up on my soapbox about Michael Carter. Why not Michael Carter? Get Michael Carter on this roster. And when we saw him cut and then put back on the practice squad, I was really bummed out, because he brought you a level of a different type of running back. But now, kind of really thinking about it, Mario Mercado does bring you a level of that pass protect that
Yep.
you cannot do.
Replicate.
I mean, you need that pass. Like, he's one of the best pass protectors we got.
Yep.
So I can definitely very well see why he's a valuable asset, and why most likely he's going to be your number 3 running back. And then DJ Dallas, he's the guy that I have a lot of people ask me questions. If he's not on this roster, Xavier Weaver, put him as a punt return. I would love to
Yeah.
see that, but we'll see.
And then it's like, at that point, like, I'd be shocked if DJ Dallas is off the roster. And that's not from a talent
Yeah,
perspective, that's just off the
yeah,
contract he's on. I would be
100%,
absolutely shocked if DJ Dallas is not on the roster. Now, I made my final
100%.
projection of what I would like to see, not what I think is going to happen. I think DJ Dallas is going to get that last spot. I would rather
Yeah,
have Bam Knight. Or I'd probably have Michael Carter or Bam Knight, just one of them, and try to practice squad the other. I feel
yeah.
like Michael Carter would be more likely to get picked up just off name alone. And like, a lot of these teams are going to need help at running back, but it's just like, it's tough, man. How do you feel about Clayton Tune getting cut?
The Toon Show. It was time, man. It was.
He was awful.
Yeah, in 2023, I tried so hard to like get excited about a freaking season, and I was hyping out Clayton Tune like nobody's business. And now, and we're not always right. That's the thing, right? We do this for the love of the team, but it was time. It was time for him to get cut. Now, is he gonna make the practice squad? Probably.
Yeah,
I would love for them to go a different direction, to be real with
100%.
you. Yeah, I would love to go a different
You know
direction.
what you're getting with Clayton Tune, and it's less than 100
Yeah.
yards passing every single time.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, like, it's so unfortunate, because you throw Clayton Tune in there, and then you want Simi Fehoko, and you want Xavier Weaver, Tajon Palmer, Andre Bocelli, Nate McCollum to prove it, right? Prove that you can be on this 53-man roster when this man can't throw past 100 yards. Like, it's just, it's unfortunate that we're in this situation. Give us a third string quarterback that lets it rip and doesn't care that interceptions are going to be like, we need to see these throws, and he's just almost kind of timid, and he doesn't want to do it. So I don't know, man. It was time for Clayton Tune to get cut.
Yeah, the short intermediate game on Clayton Tune doesn't look good. He's
Yeah.
just not built for it. The quick reads, the just short intermediate is just not his game. But like, a lot of people in my comments are like, "Oh, give him another opportunity and he'll thrive somewhere else." It's like, no, he's not. He's not really going to thrive anywhere else. Like, he's just like a practice squad kind of player. And that's just what it is. It is what it is. In 2023, we watched Josh Dobbs stink it up, and that's when it was kind of his time. I wish they would have went with him a little earlier, so we could have came to the conclusion that he wasn't good. But we had to wait and preach and have Josh Dobbs pass for 56% for 8 weeks straight to even see a look at Clayton Tune, and it just wasn't it. So I don't know. We're in a very interesting spot. But what are you feeling for 2025? What is the expectation? I know we've had this conversation, but it was around draft time. This is before, I believe, we had solidified draft picks. Now we're creeping up, and week 1 is 2 weeks away.
It's right there, man. It's right there. I mean, expectation to me is still going to remain the same. I mean, you're going to year 3. The trajectory is going to be playoffs for the Cardinals. We should have been a playoff team last year. It's just we didn't have enough gas, I guess, right? We didn't maybe have enough talent on the defensive side of the ball to kind of push us over the edge. And of course, there were some things that ended up happening with the offense not being very good, and unnecessary interceptions that kind of kind of bit us in the butt, right? Another sweat by the Seattle Seahawks. But expectation to me is playoffs, man. Like I want to see this team go into the playoffs and win a playoff game. I feel like there's a lot of questions surrounding our current quarterback state right now in Kyler Murray. And I think a lot of everybody can say that this is a prove it year for Kyler Murray, whether the contract extends him to however he is, on paper. This is a big year. It really is. I don't think Kyler is and I'm not saying it like it's not JG's guy. Like he loves Kyler Murray. Let's be real. He's gonna be the first guy to come and defend him. But like he didn't draft him. That's what I'm talking. He didn't draft him. So the NFL is an ugly business. It really is. This is a prove it year for Kyler, not just Kyler, for Drew Petzing, for this offense, for this organization to say, hey, are we taking the next trajectory? So to me, to kind of keep it short and simple, I think it's playoffs, man. That's expectations for me, and that's what I'm hoping for our franchise quarterback to get us over the hump.
I think it has to be. I think 10 wins is the absolute minimum for the season.
Do you think 10 wins get us to the playoffs?
I would assume so. I think the NFC is interesting this year. It's very unpredictable. I think the NFC South is pretty bad on paper. The Falcons are a big question mark. The Panthers, people are expecting to take a leap, but I'm still seeing 6 to 7 wins. The Falcons, like I said, who knows? Then you have the NFC North. Are the Bears going to take a leap? Are the Packers actually good? Like, I don't know. Are the Cowboys going to be good this year? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of question marks. And then Matthew Stafford's back is messed up. Seattle, nobody knows what's going on. Is Sam Darnold going to suck this year? The weapons on offense, they're kind of trash. The defense, I think, is their bright spot. I think their defense is going to be very underrated. Can the Cardinals beat Seattle and not get swept? I think is going to be so pivotal this season. If we can at least split against the Seahawks, I will have hope for this year. That is the big thing. Like, if we can get over Seattle, we're good. The division games matter. If we can actually capitalize on the division, we're good. But I think the expectation is 10 wins at the minimum. That'll take another jump. That'll be 2 more wins positive. But that has to crack the playoffs because this roster is constructed for the playoffs. The veterans that we brought in with Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell, giving Mac Wilson the green dot, letting him run Mike. We're going athletic on defense. We're trusting some young guys like Will Johnson has to step up, unfortunately, just thrown into the fire. You would rather have Starling and kind of gradually have Will Johnson build that confidence. But if anybody's built for it, it's Will Johnson, I would say. So I'm comfortable there. And I think Nick Rallis is comfortable too. And he's able to fire some things. Now, will there be some struggles? Maybe. There might be a little struggles early on. But our schedule's easy early on. Or it's easy on paper. So there's really no excuse for the Cardinals to not get off to like a 5-2, 5-3 start and be positive. Like, there's no reason through 8 weeks that we shouldn't be positive. Or before our bye, which I think is week 7, right before Dallas. We should be positive this year.
Agree.
Absolutely. 10 wins is the bare minimum. And if we don't make the playoffs, we'll see how the season goes, but some evaluations are definitely going to have to happen. It might be quarterback. It might be offensive coordinator. It's not going to be Jonathan Gannon. It's not going to be Monty Ossenfort. It's not.
I'm glad you said that.
It's not going to be any of those 3 guys. Maybe Nick Rallis takes a head coaching position. That would suck. That would suck. I'm not going to lie. But, like, I mean, it's going to be real tough if the Cardinals don't make the playoffs this year. We're going to have some very interesting combos, and that's just what it is. If Kyler balls out and we still don't make the playoffs, then his job is probably safe, and it'll be a Drew Petzing thing. If Kyler doesn't perform in the second half again, that's just another uncomfortable conversation we're going to have because it's like it's been a trend. We have a defense that I think on paper, we'll see how it performs on the field because right now I'm saying we have a defense, but like maybe in week 4 our defense is just getting clapped. Like, you know what I mean?
True.
So we don't know. It's just on paper right now what we're looking at. The defense should be better. Should be.
Agreed.
So we'll see what happens. But 10 wins, I think, is the absolute bare minimum to playoff berth. Whether that's wild card, winning the division, is my expectation. And that is very fair, I believe, for both of us to have.
Yeah, same. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, and I'm so glad you said the whole JG thing. Don't touch him. Monty, don't touch him either. They have done enough to warrant at least another year if SHIT hits the fan, right? They deserve another year to kind of, bring it. And it's so crazy too, because with Cliff, you kind of already knew that it was almost kind of in over his head. I do believe that JG has this locker room bought in, and that's the number one thing that you need, right? Like, let's see what happens in year 3. Unless things completely go crazy and it takes an absolute nosedive, then maybe we can start evaluating, did he lose a locker room, right? But I do think the Cardinals are going to be in a situation where you're not going to be the number 1 overall pick, at least not with this roster, unless crazy things happen, right? You're not going to be the number 1 overall pick. So, I agree with you, man. I agree.
I think Kyler getting injured is the only way this team really falls on its face. So knock on wood that doesn't happen, but that's the only way I think this season derails. Like, honestly.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. Like, a lot of people like to talk crap, but, like, I think that derails the season right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know people want to say Jacoby Brissett's going to come in here. Jacoby Brissett will win you a few games. He's better than Dobbs.
He'll level the water.
Yeah.
He'll make sure you're in the game. He's not going to win the game every single time, especially when film is out there in the system. You know you want to run the football, and Jacoby Brissett can make the throws, but he's not going to win you every single game.
100%.
Kyler can win games. He can break the game.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. But I'm glad we're on the same page, even going into September, because we are so close. How many days are there in
buddy,
August?
we got...
How many days are in August? 30 or 31? 31, right?
Yeah, so since...
31. So we have...
13 days, right?
12 days. As soon as
12.
this video is going to go live, because we're about to hit the 26. 12 days until the season starts.
Watch out. Here we go.
I'm so ready for week one. It feels like this season has come up so slow.
You think?
Kinda. Like, I feel like the draft after... Well, maybe it's just because my life has been hectic. But, like, it feels like it's coming so slow. And you think it'd be the opposite, but it just has not been. I've been ready for week one for so long. And, like, I always try to have optimism, but it's just like this year feels different. I mean, last year felt different. I feel like we should have made the playoffs last year.
We should have.
Collapsed at the end of the year once again. I just could not play collective football for the whole year. Defense and offense were playing good at wrong times. We couldn't play together. So hopefully things change this year. But, man, man.
And just imagine, man, around the NFC West, we should have swept this. We should have swept the Rams. Yep. We swept the 49ers. I get it, it's Dobbs, but we still swept them. The only team that's really given us kind of flack within the last couple of years is in Seattle. That's it. And that's with the not a good defense. Now we have a good defense. So like let's see what happens here. As long as we cannot do dumb mistakes and give up the ball and take care of the ball, I think this team can be very, very good.
And they don't have Geno anymore.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 now? Was he 6 now or 8 now? He was one of the two.
Don't remind me. Yeah, he was a Cardinal killer.
And then, I mean, we saw what happened in the preseason. 3 passes and a touchdown. It's just like, he doesn't like us. He doesn't like us. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. So we'll see what Sam Darnold does. If he tears it up, then just FML. Fudge my life.
100%.
We'll see what happens, though. But, Mike, appreciate you for hopping on my channel once again. We'll have a stream on your channel coming soon.
Yep.
Don't know when that's happening. We'll figure it out. Should be tomorrow morning. So by the time this goes out, tomorrow morning, if you want to pop up his channel, I will be popping out. So let them know where they can find you real quick.
Anything the AZ Sports Fan, X/Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram are the main ones. I'm trying to ramp up the TikTok. It's just I keep forgetting about it. I'm going to be real. But I do have a TikTok. I just really don't post very much. But hopefully when the season comes around, I will be. But yeah, just everything the AZ Sports Fan, you should be able to find me.
Go check them out. We'll have a stream for you guys coming tomorrow morning. But appreciate you for hopping on the channel, man.
Of course,
I'm glad we're on the same level. Hopefully the Cardinals are balling out this year. And hopefully we can revisit this. You guys are watching this. And in the future, we're in the playoffs. But with that being said, that is going to wrap it up. It's been your boy, Mythic and Mike. Peace out.
Later, man.